Greetings, students. In this video, I want to show you how to read rhythms using 16th notes. We did something like this when we were in school a few weeks ago, but probably you forgot how to do this. So I want to remind you how to read rhythms using 16 notes, okay? Before we get started, let me point out something very important. Notice that the difference between the 16 notes and the 8 notes is that we fit 4 in one beat, while the 8 notes would fit 2 in one beat, and the 16 notes have a double flag, while the 8 notes has a single flag. I know that this seems obvious, but it is important for us to be clear on this because as these exercises start to get more complex and you start incorporating more rhythmic values into the exercises, it can start getting confusing if you're not clear on these concepts. Okay, now the way that we count the beats when we are using 16 notes is a little bit different than the one that we use when we count 8 notes. In this case, you can see it here in the top. We're going to use this formula every time that we read a beat. We're going to say 1 E and da. Okay, 1 E and da. This is for English speakers. This is the universal way of reading rhythms incorporating 16 notes. We're going to do this just like we did with the 8 notes. We're going to say the 1 E and the 2 E and the 3 E and the 4 E and the 1 E and the 2 E and the 3 E and the 4 E and the endlessly, and like I explained with the 8 notes and the exercises that you were doing in previous weeks, we're going to try and do this um, as fluent as possible and as steady as possible without stopping in between. This is something that I pointed out to some of you. Please do not count like 1 E and da, 2 E and da, 3 E and da, 4 E and da. Notice that I'm making a pause between the different beats. Try to avoid doing that. Try to be fluent all through the exercise. 1 E and da, 2 E and da, 3 E and da, 4 E and da, 1 E and da, 2 E and da, 3 E and da, 4 E and da. And just like we did with the 8 notes exercises, you're going to clap in the appropriate turn. In the case that it is quarter notes, you're going to clap only on the number. In the case that it is 8 notes, you're going to clap just like we did before in the number and the end. This is why we put the E and the A at the end, different than the end that we have in the upbeat. Okay, so we have 1 E and da. So in the 8 notes, clap on the 2, clap on the end. And in the case of 16 notes, you're going to clap in the 4 syllables. In the number, in the E, in the end, and in the A. You're going to clap in the 4 of them. So the result will be something like this. Let me clap it for you. In this case, this exercise will go like this. 1 E and da, 2 E and da, 3 E and da, 4 E and da, 1 E and da, 2 E and da, 3 E and da, 4 E and da, 1 E and da, 2 E and da, 3 E and da, 4 E and da, 1 E and da, 2 E and da, 3 E and da, 4 E and da. Okay, that is how you read exercises featuring 16 notes. Let me repeat it one more time. It will be something like this. 1 E and da, 2 E and da, 3 E and da, 4 E and da, 1 E and da, 2 E and da, 3 E and da, 4 E and da, 1 E and da, 2 E and da, 3 E and da, 4 E and da, 1 E and da, 2 E and da, 3 E and da, 4 E and da. All right, I hope this was productive and see you next time.